Before I end my speech, as you know, Your Royal Majesty, I just arrived this morning. About this same time yesterday in Leiden, in the Netherlands, the Benin Dialogue Group had a meeting. And for those of you who don't know, the Benin Dialogue Group is made up of all the prominent museums in Europe, members of the Royal Court, and officials of the government of Edo State. At that meeting yesterday, we decided, and I assured the group, that a Benin Royal Museum will be built and completed before the 20th of October in 3 years' time. We also got the commitment of the group that they were going to return many of the works that were taken from the palace during the unfortunate expedition in 1897. Your Royal Majesty, I believe that this is a befitting birthday present for you. Congratulations.
Iyayiwe wadame ihe evine Mr. Godwin Obaseki. If not tie the uwe video na peba. Why is the gbeo wadaiho? Igave ekpove ne Professor Benson Osadolo, a renowned historian, the University of Benin. Noveta the interview near the TVC channels gbawe TVC kwe no ya we poni ban no wazie gbe ne nika igwajo ne khere wa bege me no taiban what time ni 2018 the birthday ore omonoba oba EY no give gidigan the 2018 wa we on where obe time uwe video ni ban where in wake Netherlands day on your conference near the 2018 the Netherlands. A conference in Professor Benson Osadolo gave gwan kan the nene video ni akpe we are gwan for ne ban ra we are iteven yoni tane. Wori sunu ugbere arrive ne we abe na tie Benin Royal Museum. Benin Dialogue Group no sunu jiban no ave iwo wa ogugan at the top leading museums the Europe. Eyani ave deba na tie dene Benin Dialogue Group no kaban ugbere arizi oni ne e na tavi ko nagba do the nene conference near the Netherlands e odo time omonoba we ian duiko neviyeke we amwe na tie Benin Royal Museum bo. Ori se 2021 wori sunuva ota buni maga no e ma so ga we protest na uno de we ave emane no maje o ga river di hamu wa e protest ni amawe na ya gboge MOWAA na bo ama wena ya gwoge MOWAA protest ni awena ya gwalo toe bene MOWAA ya rehe vije ke bari duikone agbon ya kwejo ne we abena tie Benin Royal Museum ve MOWAA wori laladian akedomie we adoya ke MOWAA otaro na ga no ra otabun ni agari enwan ni meji wae na o keka wa bere wonu wa bere na emi ro to toe emi re ijelo yobo na kaka bo mu pa mu were we akwejo ne we abe Benin Royal Museum bagi do ya la MOWAA anado mi we uso we ne museum na gbado ne niko where abe Benin Royal Museum ne na be museum ni e aje be agudu iko na ya hie MOWAA wanota kava ohuo no enwe yama ra yen rego e o enwe omo yen abie ana do miewe egbokwo be rio no regbego ra no ama odo bie we okeke na nota e no je gbe kan gbe ba akedo miewe odo bie we no ya bioma nagbon agba tane we Benin Royal Museum okeke de nenebe Benin Dialogue Group na gbadu iko na e ari buviyeke runda okona Obaseki oni hono ga alele de anamiewe anado ye nwa ya bie iseke gwa wo bokpa otanagi ata ugari ya no iwanagi so iwuran e ari ga so okay na no runda ave iwo gwa na ka banga museum ni kebe ayo ya fe ni na gwa kan runda we abe Benin Royal Museum o hian ya mu go ladian we oma na boy onora iko na do okeke de igo na mu ladian aido ya fonde MOWAA aya ka we ari omo no ba bagbe omo no ba no nya emiare na ya vio ye nene iwogwa ra museum why nota inotana okay na rie nwane me no kwa yorun da we emi no ri sunu wegbe ana do miewe odo ya ke MOWAA na nota kan oyerebo ya gwawe ebo na duiko we na ri obo mo no ba hie ave emie are na re we omo no ba nya we state government onyan ri omo no ba we emi wona awo egbo ni negeguan evadibu ha we egwa we emi wona awo amu emie nege via ra negegbina emi afe na ri awu kian ke legacy trust ori aduiko iga be ri ege nu waban nu wadan me he ne Professor Osadolo Benson we ta runda ye bi arusun opa we ema ni bi ajiko ni eme na e afoye ma akwe iga be mo ti ma be no rewe bore no we garu we me na no we ga lele ka me be jo yiko ni be na miewe amwe 42 million euro ne Godwin Obaseki he akwe proof and evidence e yaro ma vivi ya ladian ana miewe igo da kai we han ya be Benin Royal Museum aya be MOWAA ari no tada ni anwe boja ri he na gwalo to e ma no ruwe e ma yika we no maje isekian wa ga ye miamia we e na ya be nene MOWAA na kana e kana ya boy e miare artifact ni viola diamu wo tova yama amaye vio la dian ni amaye gwa kani e gwa kani ba kwani ado we mi agugwa kan runda oge gwa e no Oba Akenzuwa Cultural Center oga uga oge oba vorame abe ekena be museum ni jina nakana eriye ni ya we gwa ni ara aye ya se ekena tie White House prisons egwa ya so do abe ni ya fe emyare ni atono yoto be ba ni ne boma certificate ni bo le boma certificate egere ya be museum ni aya tono ya violadian okeke ya ba agwa emyare river ni atono ladian woto egwa ya gie ikave so river ya ka mia we egwa e no sunu bani o emyare ni atono ladian woto bani na ko vie ya ihegwa o egwa e no na gwale ugapa vio eji bani no ga river ne eni here amaye gwa kan ni amaye we emini aviola da woto ani orugbori no ogbo ya 200 enyare no ladi am woto ba oge government oge MOWAA ma be se ri ogbo ege na ya adu ekini o ma ni no do taladi an gwe ege no sunova yan ahwe ege ni agido ya gbogbo alega imuna ni ara anwuna ba yan do gbogbo alega amaria yan no ga sunova ya excavate otova emi ya fe no sunova ni ma ya emi are ni no la jabani ni ahwe ni a so mi ga no wa vio ladian runda ewa imao evena ni si etangbe wa idan he professor Benson Osadolo runda yen bi are usonpa le ima ni vega ruwe Benin Royal Museum now wadai hoye.
Few years later, which was about 2010, the Benin Dialogue Group was formed to handle the issues of the debates related to repatriation as well as restitution. This dialogue group, listening carefully, it was made up of the consortium of European museums. It was also made up of representatives of the Edo State government. It was also made up of the Benin Royal Court. It was also made up of the National Commission for Museums and Monuments. This was the Benin Dialogue Group. And the first meeting was 2010 in Vienna. Subsequent meeting was held in Berlin in 2011 and in Benin City in 2013. An effort was made for the British Museum in London to host the conference. In 2014, they refused. And it was again in 2018 in the Netherlands that the Benin Dialogue Group met again to discuss what to do in terms of the return of these art objects. The group met again in 2018. That is the most important thing about the question you have asked. The group met in 2018 in the Netherlands and then had a proposal, one of which was to build the Benin Royal Museum within 3 years for the purpose of keeping these artifacts safe. And all of this was agreed to by the Edo State government, by the Consortium of European Museums, by the Benin Royal family or the Benin Royal Court, as well as the National Commission for Museums and Monuments in Nigeria. However, in 2019, after the Netherlands conference of 2018, the group met again in Benin City. And I was at that meeting, in which it was agreed that the whole idea and concept, the design, the project that concerns the Benin Royal Museum should be given an urgency. However, the following year, there was this coronavirus. And by 2020, coronavirus, 2021, a new concept emerged, which is the MOWAA concept initiated by some group of persons that were not even directly related to the Benin Dialogue Group. But that is the most astonishing aspect of this development. The MOWAA is actually a project which has to do a museum of West African art. It's a brilliant idea. I have nothing against it at all. But the museum has been conceived by Legacy Restoration Trust of Nigeria in concert with the British Museum and one Ajaye Associates, in which the Royal Court of Benin was completely sidelined. The owners of the artifacts, they were completely sidelined. And what I read in the papers, and I find it very disgusting, is that the MOWAA project was now inviting the Oba of Benin as a partner. And then, see, they went into partnership with the British Museum, those who have looted the heritage, so that they can re-loot it again. And it's wrong. Our thinking, our own views about all of this is that the Benin Royal Museum, which was the initial concept arising from the Netherlands Conference of 2018, should continue to be the custodians of these artifacts. The MOWAA project should run on its own lane and not be the custodian of these royal arts of Benin. It belongs to the Royal Court of Benin, the Oba of Benin. In fact, the artworks were made by the Royal Command of the Oba. So it does not belong to the MOWAA. It does not belong to Ajayi Associates. It does not belong to Legacy Restoration Trust. It belongs to the Royal Court of Benin. To try to say they are inviting the Oba of Benin to be partners in the custodianship of these artifacts is an insult. It's an attempt to humiliate the institution of monarchy in Benin City. And many people are already saying, no, that's wrong. They should understand the Benin tradition, understand the Benin history, understand the Benin culture, and respect it. No one is against their project. They can run their project the way they want to run it, but not begin to humiliate the Royal Court of Benin because of this project. We stand by the decisions of the proposals of Netherlands Conference of 2018 to build the Benin Royal Museum, and that is our concern. This was supported by the conference in Benin in 2019. That is our concern. If by 2021 and 2022 there's a MOWAA project, it's out of the way. The MOWAA is not part of the ownership of this royal arts of Benin. And even bringing them, of course, there are other issues involved. Let us look at the historical and legal context of keeping these artworks. Historically, they belong to the Royal Court of Benin. They belong to the Oba of Benin. They've been looted. You see, there are a number of issues involved in the looting. First, the British invaded Benin. They conquered Benin. They plundered the city. They looted the artworks, over 5,000. And then they burnt the city. Half of the city was completely burnt. That is colonial injustice. It was done to the palace and the people of Benin. So today, we're asking for repatriation and restitution. And then you are bringing a group of people who do not understand the history of Benin to come and be the custodian. On what basis? That's my point. So please, I don't understand why some individuals are worried about who keeps them or does not keep them. They are the property of the Oba of Benin, and they should go straight to the Benin Royal Museum. They have agreed to build this museum in 2018 within 3 years. But today, the project is yet to take off. So what has happened? Are there individuals frustrating the palace or frustrating the Benin Royal Museum or frustrating the effort to repatriate these objects and pay restitution to the palace of the Royal Benin? Are there individuals? If there are, what is their goal? Honestly speaking, if you take the Benin monarchy from Edo State, the Benis are no more. So we reverence our Oba, we respect our Oba, we honor him, and to a large extent, we worship the Oba in Benin. We know who he is. He's Omonobane Dokwa Bolo. The one on the throne now is Oba Eware II Nogidiga. And I don't think he can begin to discuss issues that are irrelevant to Obaseki monarchy family. Nothing like that at all. The truth of the matter is that from the very beginning, Governor Obaseki himself, he was involved in the Benin Dialogue Group. He sent state representatives to Benin Dialogue Group. He hosted Benin Dialogue Group. The first host, second hosting in 2019, they all agreed that now why the division from Benin Royal Museum to a different idea entirely? Okay, let us look at those behind a MOWAA, which is the Dome Museum of West African Art. It has its own brilliant concept, but they should not begin to contest the ownership of the artifacts with Benin. That's my point. It has nothing to do with whether there's fight between the Benin monarchy and Obaseki family. That's not correct. That one is past is past. It's history that is past. We're only today learning from that history. No one contends with the Oba and survives it. So we don't want to go into all of that. But what we are saying clearly, and it's very, very obvious to all of us, is that there's a sense of betrayal with this new development. The Omonoba of Benin, Oba Ewari II, has been betrayed. Because from the very beginning, we all agree that there will be a Benin Royal museum. Then why the sudden change? That is betrayal.
All right.
That can also lead to mistrust and distrust. Listen carefully. Mistrust and distrust among people who think that they have the power to do whatever they want to do. All power in government today is temporary. The Oba of Benin is permanent until the Almighty God says it is time.
All right.
So let us begin to learn something very clear. Listen carefully, sir. Very clear. Now, who are those that establish the Legacy Restoration Trust? Who are those that establish it? Was it the palace? Was it the state government? Who are those called Ajayi Associates? Is it related to the palace or the state government? The British Museum that looted, that collected the loot, are they part of it? And then we are asking again that those who looted it, the British, who looted it, who refused to participate in all of these meetings, will not be the ones advising us on how to keep our return. If you look at the history of the world today, the Benin artifacts are valued in billions of US dollars. They're highly priced. And all of this belong to the Royal Court of Benin, not to Restoration Legacy Trust, not to British Museum, not to Ajayi Associates that have established this MOWAA, and they are calling the Oba of Benin. It's an insult to the Benin monarchy.
All right.